So basically I've been asked to stop filming at the casino. That got me thinking, like, how did they actually find my videos? I think there's two options. Either Crown employs someone to scour the internet for footage filmed inside of the venue, or someone who watches my videos is a snitch. Oh shit, sorry. Hello and welcome back to the vlog. So for the next 2 weeks, the Victorian Poker Champs are on at Crown. Planning on playing 3 events which we're going to cover in this vlog. I have made it through to day 2 of the opening event, which is why we're heading back in today. Unfortunately, because I couldn't film for day 1, I don't really have too much to go over. But we are heading back in. We are 5 people off the money for the opening event, and we have 13 big blinds. So let's see what we can do with that. Yeah, well, that was a very short-lived day 2. We went in with 13 bigs, 5 people off the cash. Min cash was $6.25. Very first hand, it's folded around to me on the button and I looked down at ace queen, so I shoved. Fortunately, the blinds folded and we picked up a couple more blinds there. We were still at the first blind level when I went out, so I really didn't play for long at all. Blinds were 2.55k. I was in the big blind with pocket nines. The player under the gun decided to open for 11,000. Next player to act, who I'd seen multiple times already, just limp fold to shoves, decided to come along. Folded around to the small blind, who decides to come along as well, and I of course shipped the nines. We're in the cash now, we're at the second pay jump, so more than happy to get it in. I was really only concerned about the player who opened, wasn't too concerned about under the gun +1 or the small blind, but the player who opened actually folded and under the gun 1 made the call. Small blind folds and the player who called rolls over ace 9. I was feeling pretty good about my hand because the small blind actually opened, folded, and ace. But of course, it wasn't my day. Flop came ace, ace 4. So yeah, pretty much flopped us dead and we busted out of that one. But I did make the cash, got to the second pay jump and got $690. Yeah. Now we can talk about the second tournament which I played for the series, which was the $400 deep stack big blind ante tournament. And that's where the hands come from that we're going to talk about today. First hand that I want to discuss, I had queen 10 offsuit in the big blind. Button decides to open for 250, small blind folds, and I make the call from the big blind. Flop came queen 10-7 with 2 spades. I check it over to the button and he decides to continue for 300. So I decided to raise it up to 800, and I did that because it's a pretty connected board and there were quite a few draws out there. He snap calls, so we get to see another turn card which came in offsuit 7. This time I checked it over to him and I'm not too sure how I feel about this check. Yeah, look, I'm not gonna lie, I really do not like the check on the turn, especially after I've check raised the flop. I think at the time what led me to check back was me thinking that he had aces or kings, but I feel like most of the time it's going to be more likely that he's got some sort of a draw or just a single queen or 10. And by checking there, I'm just giving him the chance to catch up, which really isn't ideal. But as played, we get to see a river card for free, which came an offsuit jack. So I decided to bet $1,100 and he pretty much just snap raised to $2,600. Yeah, so this river card really isn't ideal. I'm losing to ace king now, king 9, queen jack, a 7 obviously. Not really worried about him having aces or kings anymore, especially after he checks back the turn. And I guess the only sort of good thing that's come out of me checking over to him on the turn is that my hand kind of looks under rep now. Probably to him it looks like I've got some sort of a draw, and now he's got the opportunity to try and bluff some of his misdraws on the river. So let's see what I did. Thought about it for about 20 seconds and I made the call and he rolled over jack 9 offsuit. So we won that hand there with our 2 pair. So this next hand here we have pocket kings on the button. Everyone who has to act before me decides to limp in. I decided to make it 1,500. Not sure how I feel about that sizing. I think it was probably a little bit too much. It was way too much. I didn't really want everyone to fold. I was hoping I'd get one caller. But yeah, as played, I made it 1,500 and everybody folded. So we just took down, yeah, the limped pot. This next hand here, I've got the ace of spades and the ace of clubs in the hijack. Blinds were 100, 200 at this point, and the player under the gun decided to open for 500. Folds around to me and I bump it up to 1,400. Folds back around to her and she makes the call. So the flop came king 8-4 with 2 spades. She checks it over to me and I decided to continue for 1,500. She makes the call and we go 2 ways to a turn, which comes the jack of spades. She again checks to me and this time I decided to bet 4,000. She snap calls and we go to a river, which came offsuit 2. She checks it over to me. I'm a little bit conflicted about my action on the river. To me, this hand is so freaking bad. I clearly wasn't thinking at the time, but I can only think of 2 hands that I know for sure this player calls me with that I beat, and that is Ace King and King Queen. Every other hand she calls me with, I'm beat by, so I'm really not achieving anything by betting. I don't know why I bet. You know, by betting 7,000, I'm not pushing her off anything either. She's not going to fold a flush, she's not folding a set, and she's definitely not folding 2 pair. So, you know, the only thing that I'm doing there by betting is saying frickin' take my money. But yeah, let's see what happened and let's see what she turned up with. I ultimately decided to bet 7,000 and she snap called. And in the end, she did have 2 pair. She had King Jack offsuit. Whoa, what a crazy surprise. So this next hand here happened a little bit later on in the deep stack tournament. We were probably 6 people off the money bubble at this point, and I had about 180,000 sitting in front of me. Blinds were 2,000, 4,000 with a $4,000 big blind ante. Folded around to me in middle position and I looked down at pocket 9s. I decided to open for 10,000, which was the standard opening size on the table. Folds around to the big blind who makes the call. So the flop came 9-8-4 with 2 hearts. He checks it over to me and I decided to bet the same amount that I opened for, which was 10,000. And the player in the big blind decides to ship the rest in for a total of 48,000. I of course snap call and he rolled over 8-5 offsuit. So he's flop middle pair and he's got a backdoor straight draw as well. Turn came a 5, so he turned 2 pair and the river came a, what was it? I think it was a 2. Yes, it was a 2. We ended up taking that pot down. I did make the money for this tournament as well. I made the second pay jump and I ended up getting... So I'm just going to jump to a clip of the past me telling you guys what happened straight after I busted. Before that, I'll just let you guys know I did play another tournament the night after this. Didn't do any well, didn't knock anyone out, and I didn't make the cash, so I'm just not going to include anything from it, but yeah. So, I just busted. Played 2 tournaments today, cashed in both of them. It was for 715, I believe. Can't really complain about the way I got knocked out. I ran my pocket 5s into pocket aces all in pre-flop and the aces held. So that's why I'm here now. Yeah, I'm done now. Bye.
1, 2, 3, jump!